Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another of my comparison videos, and this one is on The Lion King, the 1995 classic animation version versus the 2019 kind of sort of live action version. Okay, now for those of you who know me and have been watching my videos, you know that The Lion King is among one of my favorite Disney movies and also one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite franchises. I love The Lion King, and I did reviews on both the original 1995 classic animation version and the 2019 kind of sort of live action version. I'm saying kind of sort of live action because it wasn't exactly live action, but it was pretty darn close. Like visually, it was pretty darn close. I'm just going to do a compare, I'm just going to compare the two and just, let you know what the differences are, and then compare to the two what I, with the two, what I liked best about both of them. Okay, so the 1995 classic animation version, we really don't know if Scar was born with his scar or not. They really don't get into a lot of backstory on that. We see him with the scar. We know he's called Scar, but they don't tell us that much about it. Like, how did he get the scar? Was he named Scar because of the scar? Like, did his parents name him Scar because of the scar? Did he have another name? And Scar was like a nickname that everybody just called him by. Okay, the hyenas work with Scar basically from the beginning. We don't know when he formed this alliance with Scar, when they formed this alliance with Scar, but we know they are working with him from the beginning of the movie. We also know from the Lion Guard, we get a little bit more backstory on Scar, but we'll talk about that if and when I do a TV talk series on the Lion Guard. But we know that from the beginning, basically from right before the song Be Prepared, that the hyenas are working with Scar from the beginning of the movie. Timon and Pumbaa and Simba are really the only ones living at, I call it the paradise, it doesn't really have a name, but living in that area where where Simba basically grows up after he leaves the Pride Lands. They're the only three animals there aside from like the insects they eat and maybe a few birds, but we don't really see them interacting with anyone other than each other. And we do not see Nala leave Pride Rock or the Pride Lands. This point has brought up a good deal of theorizing, particularly with The Lion King 2, on certain characters, and has also brought up some interesting fanfics on, what Nala's life was like after Simba leaves prior to when she finds him, and what prompted her to leave Pride Rock and the Pride Lands. She tells Simba in the movie that she left to find help, but she doesn't really elaborate that much on it. One of my favorite fanfics on Nala's life between when Simba leaves and when she goes to find him is entitled Nala's Tears, and it is on Wattpad. I do not remember the name of the author, but it is one of my favorite ones. It ties in with a lot of the theories for The Lion King 2. And like I said, particular certain characters and their connection to her. This point also is brought in with regards to the Lion Guard, like the origins of two particular characters that they're not main characters, but they're in it enough that we know who they are, and they do have actual names, but we don't see them really in anything other than the Lion Guard. Okay, so the 2019 version, we do get story on how Scar got his scar. They do kind of come out at the beginning of the movie and if not come out and tell us how they got the scar, kind of imply for us to know how he got his scar. I only saw the movie once, not because I didn't like it, just because I just haven't had time to sit down and watch it again. Okay, the hyenas are not working with Scar until after the elephant graveyard scene. That's when he approaches the hyenas, particularly Shenzi, who is the leader of the hyenas, and strikes the bargain with her to help him get what he wants. If they help him eliminate Mufasa and Simba so he can become king, since Simba has no brothers or sisters, and he is obviously a cub and doesn't have any children of his own. If something happens to Simba and Mufasa, as Mufasa's brother, Scar is the next in line for the throne. And if the hyenas help him with that, then he will turn the Pride Lands over to them and let them hunt to their pleasure. And whatnot. So that's when that happens, is after the elephant graveyard. Which is a big contrast in the movies, but it doesn't really ruin the movie. It still kind of goes along. They just, it's their movie. They made some changes, and I'm okay with that. We do see more animals living at the paradise with Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba. We see a whole variety of them. Simba is really the only one that can be classified as a carnivore. The others are either herbivores or insectivores. But Simba's really the only, I would like to say the odd duck there, because theoretically all the other animals that are living there would be on his dinner menu, because those are animals that he, as a lion, as a top predator, would eat. But again, same thing like with the other one, Timon and Pumbaa was same thing. They're insectivores. Well, Timon's an insectivore. I don't know if warthogs are insectivores or not. But, top predator, again, that's dinner. But it's Disney, so they're not obviously going to do that. Plus, Simba needed friends growing up, now that he was away from the Pride Lands. But again, there's the difference. Now, do those other animals really affect what happens in the movie? No. Not really. It just gives more of a communal feel to the area. And finally, we do see Nala leave Pride Rock and the Pride Lands. They literally put that scene in there. So there's no questions of, did Scar force her out? Did something happen? Or whatnot? We see what happens. We see her leave Pride Rock. Yes, I hear you. I apologize. That is my cat calling. But we see her leave Pride Rock, and that is, again, is it something that is important? Not really. I mean, they could have left that scene out like they did in the 1995 version, but it does answer some questions as to why she is out on her own and whatnot. So those are the big key differences, those 4 points right there. Okay, what I liked about them. 1995 version. I basically liked everything about the 1995 version. The Lion King was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And I absolutely loved it. It is still one of my favorite movies. If I decide I want to watch a Disney movie and I don't know what Disney movie I want to watch, that's usually the first one I go to is The Lion King. Which is usually followed up by The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite movies of all times. Okay, the 2019 version. Again, everything. I mean, this was a remake of one of my favorite movies. And it's probably one of my favorite Disney remakes. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. It was so cool. The animals looked great. I mean, I think they used photo animation or something where they took photographs of the animals and animated them. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it's called, but I think that's what they did. It looked really good. A friend of mine did kind of point out that the animals, they don't blink, they just kind of stare, which is a little unnerving, but I didn't really notice it when I first watched the movie, so it's very subtle. But all in all, I loved it. It was a great remake. I mean, Disney's done a couple of live action remakes. They did 101 Dalmatians. Pete's Dragon. Well, Pete's Dragon's not really a live action remake because that was live action to begin with, except for Elliot. But they did do a remake of that. The Jungle Book. Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Dumbo, most recently Pinocchio, Mulan, if I didn't say Mulan. So they did a lot of live action remakes, which are amazing and like so cool. So cool, especially the way they did it and stayed true to the story, but changed it just a little bit to make it its own. But this is by far my favorite of the remakes, coupled with the fact that it is a remake of one of my favorite movies, so it gets a lot of bonus points for that. Okay, please leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I do have my name for those 4 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. And the links for the 4 sites I mentioned will be in the description section if that makes it any easier for you guys to locate me on those sites. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my other comparison videos. My other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a few things I'd like to touch on. First off, YouTube subscribers. Any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. The link will be in the description section. Facebook friends. Basically the same deal. Any of my videos that cannot be found on my Facebook page are on my YouTube channel. The link will be in the description section. And to anyone who's interested, you can feel free to check out my Facebook group, Fanfic Corner. The link for that will be in the description section as well. Please be sure to like and share if you're watching this on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching and have a very nice day.